Pleasant good morning, YouTube. So, I want to continue on with these horror stories and my personal accounts of what happened to me and what I've seen in my life. Um, Especially in Trinidad, where I grew up and where I go on vacation a lot. I think the public needs to know about certain things. And in Trinidad, when I was growing up, and before I get to this story, just overall and in general, my aunties, uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers, they all shared stories of, people calling you and not to go and duends. And you see, my parents, my mother and her family, they all grew up in the countryside in Trinidad. So the stories were endless of all kind of weird stuff that would happen. But I never took on any of these stories until... So the last story I told you was my first ever encounter with any type of paranormal stuff in Trinidad, right? Well, this one where things start getting a bit even more scary. Like I've even watched horror movies, and it doesn't even that's nothing compared to like the stuff I've actually been through in my life. So it was All Year's Night, and let me tell you what All Year's Night is in Trinidad, right? All Year's Night is like New Year's Eve. It's the day before January 1st, and it's New Year's Eve, but we call it All Year's Night. So me and my mom took a vacation after coming to Canada for 4 years. We decided to go back. So I was 9 years old. I believe the year was 1993. We went back to Trinidad, Saparia. So Saparia is in the countryside of Trinidad, in the south side. Very bushy area. I mean, it's all bush, especially in 1993. It was still underdeveloped, right? So, and it still is up to now. Like if you go there, you feel like you're back in time, 1960s, 70s. You feel really nice. It's very, it's just a wonderful scenery, and it's just mesmerizing to be there, and just the open, beautiful air and the lush green trees, mango trees, and just everything about it. It's just beautiful. But that particular night, everybody was having a good time, and all my cousins and all my family members were there, my aunties, my uncles, and we're having a real good time, real good time. So where my grandmother lives now, it's on a kind of a mountain type of hill, and there's a big steep hill, and there's nobody living there. It's literally acres of field and just one house. And the neighbor is living like, I would say 100 yards, probably a football field away, and lots of bush. To get to their house, you would either need a car or you could scamper through the bush, and hopefully you wouldn't get bitten by a snake or something, and you would come to the other side. So everyone's partying. It's about 1 a.m. We're all enjoying the day and all enjoying the night, and all of a sudden the neighbor starts calling us over. And back then, there's no cell phone and none of this stuff. They'll just wave at you and say, "What you saying, man? Come over." So the entire family now, we all say, "Yeah, man, let me go and see the neighbor." So we all go through the bush, and this bush is tall bush. It's like a half lagoon, half bush. It's very soft. Like you can sink if you don't have proper shoes on. And I guess everyone's feeling tipsy there. My mom and their sisters and their family, they're all feeling tipsy. So we all decided to go there, and we didn't care about the moistness of the grass and the softness of the ground. We just went. Now there's a saying in Trinidad, man. You don't go anywhere like that past 1 or 2 o'clock. Go to any kind of bush and this and that, because there's a lot of spirits that just roam. that place, especially in the nighttime. There's a lot of spirits that are just roaming. So we ended up making it over to the neighbor's house and hanging out. Everything's going good. Everyone's enjoying themselves. They're drinking. I'm hanging out with my cousins, and it's just such a great night. I'm 9 years old. It's a wonderful night. We're celebrating. It's a new year. I'm in Trinidad. Um, it was the best. It's such a great experience. I was having such a good time. My parents were having such a good time. So now time to come back. Time to come back over. This is when it got real scary. So we're all coming back, crossing the grass, middle of the night, trying to get back to my grandma's house. And all of a sudden, my mom's eyes close, and it's almost like she was sleepwalking. Now, this is in Trinidad, in the bush, probably 2 to 3 a.m., right? And they're like, oh, well, what's wrong with so-and-so? Like, my mom, everyone's asking. And I was kind of like freaking out, too, because this lady's fully walking to the house with her eyes closed, talking to two spirits. Those spirits are telling her to come cross this bridge or cross this river or something. And she's having full conversations while walking. So now, all of a sudden, we make it to my grandma's house, and everybody carries my mom upstairs and puts her on the sofa to lie down. So I want you guys to picture this. Entire family, about 20 people upstairs of an old wooden board house, which is my grandma's house. We call it a board house. It sounds like it'll fall down, but it's actually pretty strong. But we're all surrounding my mom, and these two spirits are telling her to come with them. And she's like, no. I don't think I should cross. I don't think I should come with you guys and cross this thing with you. And we're all screaming at her and telling her, yo, don't do that. Don't cross. Don't listen to them. And I'm 9 years old, eh? Take it in. I'm 9 years old. So we're all we're all telling her, like, don't cross. And these two spirits, they're coming like somebody she knows, right? And she's like telling them no, and they're like, the way that she's conversating with them, it's almost like they're really like pulling her spirit out to like bring her with them. And we're all telling her no. Until now, I started getting sick and I started throwing up. And my grandmother's like, boy, look, this boy is starting to feel sick. Put he to sleep one time. And somehow I remember, I don't know how, but I passed out. I was throwing up. I got so sick. And finally, I was able to sleep. And then by the morning comes now. I open my eyes and I pray to God. I say, well, I hope I hope that was a dream, that my mom was so sick and whatever. So I come outside now, and my grandmother's there, my aunt's there, my mom's there. They're all having tea. So I'm like, yo, that was a dream. That didn't happen. Thank God that didn't happen. So I go out on the there's like a little balcony or a little gallery section upstairs, where when you come out, and like as soon as you come out the house, upstairs there's a little gallery they have outside. So they're outside in the gallery just having some tea. So in my head I'm saying, wow, that was what happened then? Was I dreaming? And then my mom was like, they were asking her, do you remember anything? And she's like, no. And then my grandmother said, I know what happened to you. A zombie, which is a spirit or a ghost in Trinidad folklore, a zombie holds your ass in that bush. Like a spirit was there waiting for anybody with a weak shadow, or anybody weak in general, to just hold you. And this is what spirits do in the nighttime. That's why it's very important that when you go out anywhere, even with friends and whatever, just say your prayers, man. Ask for protection, because like that at 9 years old, for me to witness, like no kid wants to see that, especially to their parent being like kind of half possessed right there, like, so that was my second experience, and I'm telling you right now, Trinidad is a place, man. You gotta say your prayers. You gotta make sure and say your prayers, because like I said, when you touch down there, and you like I swear, because of these experiences, it opened up a part of my brain where I just have good intuition about people, energy. I could even forecast some stuff that happens, and it just pops into my head and it happens. So because of all these little paranormal experiences, I believe I allowed myself to open up and just kind of like, I mean, I don't know if it's a gift or not, but you just realize what it is, like if you pay attention, you'll start realizing like, there's a lot of weird stuff in this earth, and it's not really, everything is not really what it seems. But there's a lot of ghosts and paranormal activity in Trinidad where I've been, and I have more stories, and that's not even the worst of it. You could imagine what else I have to tell you guys, and it's really like, like I tell some of my Caribbean people, and they understand, but none of them really experience what I experience, and I've been through the YouTube thing, and I haven't heard anybody like go through what I went through. I mean, I hear good ghost stories and whatnot, but I mean, I've seen it myself. First, accountability. I don't need to watch any of these horror movies. Like, I literally lived it. So, like I said, I thank you for spending your time and listening. But hit the like, hit the subscribe, and any comments down there, man. Have you guys had any crazy experiences kind of similar to mine, or even anything? Leave it down there, man. Let me see. I'll comment back and hit you up, because paranormal activity has been going on my whole life. I've just, put it on the side. I experience it, and I've had other experiences where I'll get into that in like parts 4, 5, and 6 coming up, different ones, right? But yeah, this was my second experience ever in my life, and we're gonna keep going on. So stay tuned. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share. Check your boy Ro after. All right. Peace, guys. Have a good day.